Hi YouTube, welcome to day 3 of 100 Days of Webflow. Today we're gonna have a look at how we can change a Relume component, that is a slider, into Webflow CMS and then power it using the SwiperJS slider library to make it responsive, draggable, and so on. Now this is a use case that I have been requested many times because a lot of us use Relume. We love Relume. However, sometimes or many times we would want to change those components or the Relume content that is in the component into CMS powered, or maybe add some extra libraries like SwiperJS or GSAP, which we'll see in another video later on. So without boring you with all this talk, let's get to it. Let's get that slider and make it powered by CMS and SwiperJS. Here we go. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna build this slider. Now what I have here is a clonable from Client First Project Starter. This is basically a style guide that is by FinSuite Client First. As far as this video is released, the latest version is version 2.1, and this is the one we're gonna be using in this tutorial. This is gonna help us with the Relume components because Relume components are also based on Client First style guide. So let's see how that works. Now let's go back to the home page. What we need here is the Relume component. Now I advise to get the Relume Chrome extension if you use Relume. This would be very useful because you can have it right here in the Webflow designer and get the components library right there within the designer canvas. Now of course you would need to be logged in. I like to use this feature that's called class sync, which syncs the classes if I had already styled them. So I like this feature because it syncs the classes, especially if I've already styled them. So this way I can have my wireframes ready to be built upon. Now what we're gonna do is go to the components library and look for a new component that is called Gallery 22. This is the slider that we're gonna build upon in this video. So I'm gonna copy it, and as you can see it says Relume copied Gallery 22. I'm gonna go to my main wrapper and I'm gonna paste it inside here by clicking Ctrl V. Now as you can see I have the slider. Now what I need to do is have a collection or build a collection that resembles the style and then power it by SwiperJS, and this is basically what we're gonna do in this video. Okay, so now we are gonna build a collection list that resembles the slider and that works with SwiperJS. So first we're gonna click on the parent element that is padding section large, and this is the element that's holding all the items. We're gonna add collection list. So I click on A, I get the add panel, I go to collection list and I add this collection list element. The source will be blog posts. Now I pre-populated some posts before this video for the purpose of this tutorial, so we're gonna work with those. And now what we're gonna do is copy the styles that are set here into this collection list. First, I want to point out that we have to also follow a specific HTML structure by SwiperJS. I mean, we don't have to do this, but it's good to do this so that swipers work good or work as they should. Also, if you're perhaps using the CSS bundle, the namings of these classes will also help you style them or get the default styles if none are applied. So let's see how that works, but we're not going to do any of that in this video. We're just going to follow the same HTML structure. So I'm going to copy this and go back to our Webflow project. Now I've made other videos on SwiperJS, so you can check them out. And if you like this type of content, do subscribe. I mean, it will help us create better and better content, and it will help support this channel. So that would be great. Thank you for that. So let's continue. Now what we're going to do is apply the swiper HTML layout. So that will be swiper for this element, a swiper wrapper for the list element, and then swiper slide for the slide element. What I'm going to do is also I'm going to copy these styles and add them as combo classes to our swiper slider so that they look the same. So this will be gallery component, and then we have gallery slider, and then we have gallery mask, and then we need a div inside that will be a gallery slide. This will be inside here, and then inside this gallery slide we will copy this light box that is set in the component template, and now it's pretty much using the same styles. However, in swiper wrapper we can set this to be flex left, and then set the swiper slide to not grow or shrink, so now they look exactly the same. However, now this is just the look of it. We are going to see how we can power this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the code that powers this slider, and we're going to add it in the before body tag. Now this code is already here in the documentation. We're basically going to use this JS CDN. So I'm going to copy this part, script, I'm gonna paste it here. And then we need a code that initiates Swiper. So it's gonna be something like this. Now I've already set up something similar and I'm gonna copy it and I will explain it to you now on the Webflow side. So this is the code I'm gonna be using. So this first bit is basically calling the Swiper, and we've already named the Swiper as Swiper. This is the class name basically. The second bit is starting to add options and parameters to this Swiper slider. First thing is slides per view. So I want 4 slides per view, let's say, or actually there are 3 slides per view. I'm mistaken. If we see here, there are 3 slides per view as per the Relume component element. We go back to our code. We have space between, and that's 30, and we're gonna get into that more in depth. Grab cursor, it's true, and that is what's gonna show on the live version. Pagination and navigation is what we're gonna build next on this video. So let's see how we're gonna do that. So pagination, as you can see, I'm calling Swiper pagination class, and then I have this Swiper next and Swiper previous buttons that I'll be using. So let's see how we're gonna build that. Now first, I'm gonna go to my Webflow canvas. I'm gonna wrap this Swiper in a div block. This div block, let's say it's Swiper main component. Swiper main component, and this will basically be position relative. Inside it, I'm gonna add 2 div blocks, and those are gonna be the icons. These icons, I'm gonna copy this class actually, and I'm gonna apply it to this icon, and the second one has the same class but with a combo class that says is left. So as you can see, I have these 2 icons here. Now what I also need to do, I need to set them to position absolute so they take shape in the same position as they are on the Relume component slider. I'm also gonna copy these icons and I'm gonna paste them here so that I have the same icons here. Finally, what I need to do is I need to apply these same classes that are set in the code into these sliders. So I'm going to copy this Swiper button next, and then I'm going to go to settings. I'm actually going to add it as a custom attribute class so that it's always here by adding class and then pasting in the class, which is not pasting for some reason. Let's copy it again. I like to copy paste so that I don't get silly errors or silly typos. So Swiper button next, this is set as a custom attribute class so that it's not in the combo classes here. Now this is basically the same thing, however it's much more dynamic here because it doesn't mess a lot with the work and it's harder to get rid of or break. Okay, so this is going to be actually previous, and this one will be the next. So with class, we're going to paste Swiper button next. So this is next, and this is previous. Now, what we're going to do is publish this and see how this is working now. If we go to the live version, we're going to see that we have this slider. It slides just as it should. And then you can click on previous and next to see how that works. Let's customize this further. First thing, I would like to add an event here, a cursor, so that it looks like a pointer. So this looks like a button. And since this is the same class, they will apply on both. And next, I want to add this bullet points or pagination. So I'm gonna add a div block. Actually, I'm gonna add a div block here. This div block is gonna be called, let's get it here. So it's gonna be called Swiper pagination. And then inside it, we're gonna have a Swiper pagination bullet or Swiper bullet. Now let's customize this further in Webflow. Now what we're going to do is add a cursor to the buttons, these buttons. So I'm going to add a pointer cursor so that it shows as a pointer when I hover over it because it's a button. And we'll add this pagination slide to the slider that we have. So this is Swiper pagination. Inside it, I'm going to add another div, and we're going to call this div Swiper pagination bullet. And we're going to file this, perhaps make it like a 0.5 parameter. We're gonna say gray, give it 100% radius so that it's a circle, and that's basically it. Now I'm gonna add the combo class that specifies that this is the active bullet by adding the same class as active. So it'll be Swiper pagination bullet active. This will make the color to black, let's say, and yeah, let's see how this works. So I'm going to publish this version and see how that's working. I also can get this in position absolute and keep it in the corner so that it's the same as this component. Perhaps there is some padding here as well, 10 padding. Can add it here turn from top and bottom, and then publish again. Let's see the final results. Let's see how we did. Oh, we forgot the most important thing. We need some images. So we're gonna copy or connect the images from the CMS. Okay, so now we have some visuals. Let's remove the Relume component because we don't need it anymore, and we have everything done. Let's publish again. Now let's see the results. Now it's gonna be interesting. Let's see how this turns out. All right, so we go to the live version and we see our slider here. This is a nice slider. I see the bullets are not there yet, so we're gonna have a look at the bullets and see why are they not there. It's fun troubleshooting through a tutorial, so let's see. We have swipe pagination, bullet. Everything is correct. Let's go back to the code. So we have swipe pagination is clickable, is true. Perhaps we add type bullet so that it is copying the right type. This will be between brackets. So let's say publish and see how this works. Also, let's add this in position flex just to have it displayed in display flex so that it organizes them better in case they break. So now we have them finally. Great. Perhaps we need some padding or some margin between them. So let's go back. We can add perhaps a 0.5 margin to the right, and let's actually add that to the main class. So let's remove it from here. Go to the selector, we'll go to the main swipe pagination bullet, and give it 0.5 rem margin on the right, and then we bring back 0 pagination active because we need that in case someone clears the styles. This is the main class. Now SwiperJS automatically adjusts that on the live version, and we're gonna have a look at that. So let's go to the live version, let's refresh and see how this turns out. This turned out really well. Now we have the slider. It's clickable by the buttons, and it has this nice also clickable pagination that we can also add the cursor pointer. So let's add that here actually. Again, to the main class, we'll add the cursor pointer, and that's because we're calling this pagination to be clickable. So as you can see here, pagination is clickable true. So that's why we're going to use that. So I'm going to publish. Now I will leave this project as a clonable that you guys can clone, copy this code, copy this project, and I would love to see what you guys come up with. Do leave a comment if you have any more ideas or any more suggestions on how we can make better sliders faster and with using components like Relume, which is something that is very useful and very much in use nowadays. If you like this type of content, do subscribe to the channel, like the video. I would love to hear from you, and your support would mean a lot to this project. See you in the next one.